Cutscenes are in video games. That's for sure. Whether I love them or I hate them, they are here for the long haul, and understandably so, as they are used to tell a story, create an emotion, and ultimately forget within the next 3 minutes as another character tells you exactly what just happened in a cutscene. Wow, I love cutscenes. Yeah, me too. Their superfluous nature doesn't hold back their overwhelming use in video games, as ultimately the necessity they hold slightly outweighs their annoyance. Games like Destiny, God of War, and Control master their cutscenes and keep me on the edge of my chair, but these are outliers in this otherwise boring static tradition. While I recognize the general necessity of cutscenes in some AAA games, I do think their permeation into all games is a sign for concern. So today I'm going to talk about why video games should have less cutscenes. Midnight Fight Express. Sounds like Michael Bay's at it again with a 300mm lens, but it's actually a cool indie game made by one developer. This game is fun in lots of rights, but it had one fatal flaw for me. That fatal flaw for me was its cutscenes. They were moments away from the character used to set up the backstory of the villains and the game world. Every time one of these cutscenes would start, I would attempt to pay attention, but eventually I ran out of patience because of their relatively low quality and also my relatively low brain cells. I'm really dumb.
Oh my gosh, finally, absolutely.
You didn't have to agree. When moving into these cutscenes, you take away the most important part of the game, the gameplay. In the case of AAA games, this gameplay is replaced by high-quality animation and storytelling that may be slightly less engaging, but doesn't completely lose the player's focus. But in an indie game, when you strip away gameplay, you are left with nothing but this TJ Maxx handbag. I love TJ Maxx. This tears away at the player's engagement, meaning that you now have to work to get it back after the cutscene. This rebounding limbo of attention quickly pulled me out of the immersion and ultimately led to me quitting Midnight Fight Express. It's not just in indies that we see a problem with cutscenes, though. The over-explanation of the situation is something that bogs down so many big releases, from the hilariously drawn-out and cringe conversations of the new Saints Row game to the repetitive nature of conversations in almost every JRPG. Cutscenes often serve as a place to tell cringe jokes and hold the player's hand throughout the story. Even games I love, like Uncharted Lost Legacy, suffer from needless reiteration, from cutscenes that backtrack or characters that restate points that were already just made. In Red Dead Redemption 2, you will spend 8 minutes in a cutscene with Gus just to ride to an objective on your horse and hear it all over again. Cutscenes are a direct impediment on gameplay, and when they don't offer anything in return, they can drive a player to outright quitting a game. I have talked about replayability in the past, and cutscenes are a massive reason I often skip out on a second playthrough of a heavy-handed narrative experience. Cutscenes are and forever will be a part of video games. They are typically somewhat effective in conveying emotion and relaying pertinent information, but they have become too much of a pillar in game design, and their overuse bogs down what could have otherwise been a fun experience. The removal of them has enhanced some games to the point of it seemingly becoming a feature, and that is a true indication of their oversaturation. Regardless of all this, I just hope to see cutscenes used in moderation as video games continue to evolve.